Good morning. I wanted to share with you an ideal world in my eyes. So this is from my journal on Facebook, Tiered Justice, Equity, and Equality. Check it out. In an ideal world, there would be cooperation between myself and my captor group. This connection is so vital in defeating the government in a lawsuit to end remote neuromonitoring. The government should be worried about the tens of thousands of perp-tie relationships that exist in the world today. As sick as it is, the perps like their ties that they control. Now imagine if the perps wake up from being high and realize they too are already being targeted for killing with the same program they're using. You see, everyone tells on themselves. They tell the truth of things. So whenever the dope-sick perps understand that the goal of the program is to go all AI, and that it means an end to their employment as well as their non-consensual participation as the experimental subjects for the final stage of testing of R&M, maybe they'll stop laughing and start to help. Here's how. All they need to do is what I plan to do in an ideal world with my perps. Since we would both be suing the government for damages, we would ask the jury for a sample of their DNA. My perp team would take the information and give it to one of his perp friends with access to the program. And then the jury's codes would be input into the program. Because my perps know the number of the frequency they used to melt my teeth and gums, they probably know it by heart. They would give that information to the perp with access to the program still. Then, one by one, each jury member would experience for 30 seconds to a minute what I experienced for complete days in a row, or more intensely, for hours at a time. The government keeps defending this devil program because they think it will solve all their problems, and that is us being alive. The government is drunk on the idea that we need to be eliminated and don't count in the world. The truth is, everyone matters. And when enough people wake up to the truth that government thinks this way about us, they'll finally stand up for their own rights and their right to live. So the government wants to defend R&M. Well, that means they are defending physical and psychological torture. The government thinks these things are legal? They better think again. They must self-expose this weapon now, before they get caught with their pants down, which is how the military is planning to take over. Imagine if I was able to locate some other Thai perp teams that were willing to work together, as I described above in a lawsuit against the government to end R&M and collect damages. An ideal world is not that far off from reality. This could really happen today. Why would I press so hard for this dream come true to exist in my life? What's in it for me? Well, I've been isolated from society for so long. I want to have other people around to enjoy some company with. And if the government succeeds in getting what they want, they're going to kill all the friends I have. That would happen to everyone who survives these next few waves of the depopulation plan. A big megastorm is forecast, according to the intelligence communities of Russia and the United States, in 2 places at the same time on different continents. Now, common sense and a little knowledge about meteorology means that this can't possibly happen. Why is this planned this way? So the European media won't know what's going on in the US and vice versa during the event. Both intelligence communities can strong-arm the weaker nations of the world and tell them not to broadcast the created disaster. The international community would pick up on the strangeness of two stalled-out weather patterns and realize that both regions have the laser capabilities to create these megastorms and try to report it. I bet the EU and the US have already negotiated money to the countries to allow these two eyes to do what they want. If they haven't donated money, then they've donated food to shut them up and keep their mouths full. The reason for exposing R&M today is to expose one of the main tools for depopulation and draw a connection to the plan with many steps in place and ready to be implemented at a moment's notice. These planned disasters to depopulate the world must not be allowed to exist. Mass genocide is not the answer to the world's problems. The answer is governments not suppressing technologies and inventions from the world. God puts into man's minds solutions to our worldly problems. And if we have faith in his process, we will be just fine and don't need to send ourselves to hell, violating the commandment, "Thou shalt not murder." I thought long and hard about this and asked why I should be brave and speak my mind. Well, I fear that if I don't, I will become just like you, another statistic. I value myself more than just being a number. If people don't like what I say, then that's their problem. Get out of my way and allow me to help save people I don't even know in order to save myself. An end to the R&M program ensures everyone's safety, and knowing there is safety in numbers, I plead with the public to please make yourself aware of R&M, remote neural monitoring, because it is real, and the government plans to spin the deaths into something to be expected instead of something they create. This is the truth in the world today, and we need to wake up to its presence and reality right now. In my own struggle to regain my freedom, I have my rights restored, my foolish neighbors have been told by the police to not talk to me or help, and that the government and police will take care of things. That puts me in imminent danger of a permanent silencing and complete devastation of my life based on a diagnosis that they created. Neighbors must help out, and some alliances they made with either of these entities must be compromised for my sake. Without neighbors doing the right thing, I am doomed. This is not paranoia. It's not displaying symptoms of a mental illness. It is the truth. Some neighbors made some very poor decisions, and they will have to struggle with that fact for the rest of their lives. Hopefully they can learn from this experience and alter their behavior in the future. The truth I tell behind the story on Midgard Road is the most amazing story ever told. Who knew that I would be the center of all the commotion by just trying to live a simple life and keep to myself? I respect boundaries and always never try to force things. It's the way I was raised. It's why I went into education as a career. It's why I write these words today, so that people can understand that domination and control are not the way of the future, for everyone's sake. Please join me on my journey of not just envisioning world peace, but bringing it to reality and creating a world of abundance, mutual respect, and filled with nothing but the only power and presence in the universe and in my life. Love. My journal page, Tiered Justice, Equity, and Equality on Facebook, is where you can get all the current information about my struggle and hopeful success in creating a world for myself instead of one that is created for me. With God's strength and wisdom, I use my intuition to do what I feel is right, just, and in the best interest of the people from now until the end of my existence. Walk with me, because alone, I cannot do it. But together, we can do amazing things. Please join me. I'll be there. Have a great day.